everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a gatefold card, so we're going to kind of go back in time a little bit for this, and I've got some brushed corduroy ink that I'm going to use to ink all the edges of everything. So I've just thought I'd show you that at the beginning. Now I've kind of done this twice so you'll see me come in with it a little bit in a minute, and I'll show you how to make the gatefold itself. So to start with, what I did was I used some Spellbinders dies. These are the scallop circle in the large and the circle, like smooth circle in the large set as well, the largest of the large for both. And I'm using some Stampin' Up! Melon Mambo cardstock, and I'm also using a very old a little foxy 6x6 paper pad. This is from a few years ago, so I don't know if there might be some of you who still have this and I love the colours in it. Little gutted I didn't get the punch and the stamp set in the end, but it doesn't matter. And I thought that this particular sort of raindrop paper kind of looks similar to the owl's feathers on her chest. And this piece of paper, this piece of Melon Mambo, is going to be 8 1/4 by 5 1/2 and I will trim it up in a bit. But what I did for my my hoot and my owl is I actually used the print and cut feature on the Cricut design space, so I'm very excited to have used that. So this week we're going to sort of talk about that. So to start with, I'm also dragging out my Crafter's Companion Ultimate Pro, and I'm using the Gatefold A5 score line on it, and I have had this since year dot and I decided to drag this out and try and show you how you can still use that thing from all those years ago. And so I'm going to first of all butt the piece of cardstock up against the edge of the board and then score on that mark that I showed you, the A5 score line. So this is a piece of cardstock that is A4 sort of cut in half, but I'm also going to actually trim it down so that it measures 5 1/2 in height, I guess. So once you've scored both sides, you're then going to just fold each of those gates, if you like, over, and that creates your gatefold card. It's very, very easy to do, and it's a very old school technique, but it's super fun. And I forgot, and you know, that there are all these sort of techniques that we used to do in the old days, sort of 10 plus years ago, and that's how I started with all my crafting, was these sort of kinetic cards and that sort of thing. So I'm going to speed this up a bit, and this is where I trim my A5 piece of paper down to 5 1/2 wide, just so that it's more A2 style because that's kind of the shaped card that I normally use. So I'm just going to get these all inked up now. So I'm taking my brushed corduroy and just going around the edges of all of the pieces, and for some reason the distress ink just makes a massive difference. I don't know why, it just adds something to it, and I love it. It just I don't know what the word is. I have no words today. I'm very tired, so I have no words. But even along the edges of all the all the papers and things like that, it just looks lovely. It lifts it somehow and makes it look a little bit vintagey, a little bit retro, a little bit grungy. I love it. Anyway, enough of that. So back to my print and cut. It suddenly dawned on me the one day, and I don't know why what made me think of it, but I decided to try the print and cut feature within Cricut Design Space. I'd never tried it before. I didn't really understand it, to be fair. So I thought I was going to have some images that were made to print and then cut, so some that had lots of design and that sort of thing on it already. Turns out you don't. So I actually grabbed a couple of, there's the owl is from and the word is from Cricut, and I just pretty much used the colors that came, you know, within Cricut Design Space or in the handbooks. It usually gives you a color idea, like a color palette, and I just used the colors that were there. I think I may have changed 1 or 2 colors or something. I may have changed the like her eyes to pink rather than blue or something like that, but basically it's the same color palette that was on the like example. So back to the card, sorry. So what you need to remember when you're doing a gatefold is that whatever you put on the front, you only want adhesive on half of that. Otherwise you will stick your card together, which is basically what I nearly did here. So make sure that your adhesive is just on the you know, 1/2 of whatever you're sticking. So for me it should have been on 1/2 of the scallop. Your circle will be fine because that's going on the whole scallop, but the piece that's sort of going to overlap that front, those 2 front panels or gates, that's what you've got to be careful of. And the same goes for anything that's going to overhang the scallop circle. You'll need to be able to you'll need to make sure that nothing that overhangs on the side that opens, so on the right hand side of that scallop circle, is going to actually interfere or stick to your main card or the other gate, because again you'll stick the thing together and then you won't get it open. I nearly do this twice. So first with the scallop and then second with the word, so I have to finagle a bit. To be fair, it's been many years since I've actually done this, so for me I wasn't too worried that I didn't totally get this right the first time, but I also wanted to leave it in because sometimes I think it's nice for you guys to see that, you know, when you see crafters online and I'm nowhere near super professional or anything, I just kind of do me and I do what makes sense for me, but you know, some of them are amazing and they do these incredible things, but we all make these sort of, I won't call them mistakes because there's no wrong in craft, but we all do things like this. So I just thought I'd leave it in and also let you know, so that you hopefully won't do the same thing. So but yeah, with the print and cut it was actually really easy, and all you do is you find the image that you want. So the owls, for example, I'd chosen all the colors, I made sure they were the colors I wanted, and then there is basically there's a button in the bottom right that you flatten the image, and then you turn it, or you highlight it and you turn it into a print and cut feature. It's so easy. There's loads of tutorials out there, and if I can get my camera set up right, I'll try and do a tutorial for you guys just to show you how to do that, but there are loads of them out there. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. It was a sort of trip down memory lane, if you like, of a gatefold card, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye.